beautiful people, you're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. This is a beautiful and blessed week. Please, I want you all to stay safe and stay secured in Christ. How have been your day? How have been your past week going? And I want to wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. I want you to keep on subscribing to my page, and if you've not shared, please, I want you to share my videos to your family and friends so that they'll get the best, so that they will also learn from it. Now, in this video, I'm going to teach you a DIY bridal hair cap. As you can see, this is a DIY bridal hair cap. You can use any type of design. At the end of the video, I'll show you another type of design. So this is a bow type design. This is a bow type design with a bow type design bridal cap. So you can see, I want you all to watch the video so that you can be able to DIY this beautiful thing at your convenience. So thank you all for watching. Keep on staying tuned. Thank you. So this is the practical aspect. We are going to make use of our stone bead. I'm using a stone bead. You can also use other designs you want. I'm also using this is the design I'm going to use, the wine material. So it's a shiny type of material, and the navy blue is our scuba material. Then we're going to make use of our machine also, and tape rule. We're also going to use our scissors and also our chalk. Now we're also going to use needle and thread as for yes. So we're going to measure the round head. So that is what I'm doing. I'm measuring the round head, and the round head I'm using is 22. You can measure the round head of the person that you want to do the bridal cap for. So I'm making use of 22. So 22 divided by 2, that is 11. That is 11. Now after doing that, you fold your scuba material or the material you are using into 2. If you are using a scuba material, just use the exact length, because it's scuba material, they are usually stretchy so that it does not draw and elapse too much. So after folding the material into 2, you measure 11. So that is what I use. I use 11. Then measure it down. Then the next thing to do is we are going to measure 2 centimeters for the. So what I'm doing, I'm measuring 2 centimeters. That is the band that we'll put at the front of our head. So that is what I'm doing, the band for the front of our head. I measured just 2 inches. 2 inches. So this is it, 2 inches. You measure 2 inches. 2 inches. That is the band. For the band, I made use of 2 inches. Then take note, you are going to fold the material into 2. When you fold the material into 2, you measure 11. If you don't fold the material into 2, that means you are going to measure 22. But since I'm folding it into 2, I measured 11. So I've cut that out. For the band, I measured 2 inches length for the band, and I've already cut it out. So we are going to take what we are doing now is the main cap itself. So the measurement I used for the length, I used 13 inches. That's for how long it will be. But if you don't want it to come out very well, you can make use of 10 or 9 per se. If you don't want it to come out very well. So I made use of 13. This is 13 now. So watch what I'm going to do now. I'm going to draw it in a curvy like way from one point to another point. You can see from this point, I'm drawing it. You're going to curve it in a way because it's a cap. It's a kind of cap. So you're going to curve it in a way like this, like how I've done it. So after curving it now, the next thing to do is to cut it out. So I'm cutting it out. So this is what we have. Everything is a curvy way. So now this is it. Now we'll set that aside. Depending on the design you want to do, you can use any type of design you want to use. I'm going to use a bow type of design. I'm going to use a bow type of design, so that is what I'm doing now. And the measurement I'm going to use for the bow type design, for the length, for the breadth, I made use of 10. For the breadth, I made use of 10. Why for the length? I made use of 9.5. The length 9.5. Why the breadth 10? So I've cut that out. So that is the bow. You can use a flower type of design. You can watch my subsequent videos to learn how to make the flower. So you can do the flower type of design. So after doing that, to make the band, you are going to fold the material into two. This is the band now. I folded it into two. You're not going to fold the back. You fold the front into two. You fold the front into two and sew it. So this is it, because we are not going to turn up. So that is why we are folding the front into two. So I'm sewing it. You sew it down. You can sew it twice so that it will stay very well, so that it will be stronger. So I've sewn it once. So the next thing to do is to attach it to the material. The next thing to do is to attach it to the material, then sew it down. Attach it to the material and sew it down. You watch the way I'm sewing it, because if you sew it another way around, it might not come out well. So you sew it like this. And take note of the front of the material. Take note of the front of the material. So this is what I've done. So this is, as you can see, I'm sewing it again. I'm sewing it again so that it will be stronger. So this is the front of the material, this is the back. Any excess thread, you can cut that out. Any excess thread, you can cut that out. So the next thing to do is to fold the material into two. You're going to fold the back into two. You fold the back into two and sew that open space where you see my hand, where it's the part that I drew, the part that you curved. You're going to sew that part. And while sewing it, there's a technique on how to sew it. You backstitch. After backstitching that point, you push it forward a bit so that it will form in a gather's form. Like you can see the way I'm doing it. You push it forward, and careful whenever you're using the machine. You push it forward gently. You can see the way it's forming. It's not, I didn't just sew it straight. I was pushing it forward so that the beauty will come out, so that the style will come out. I've sewn it, so you can sew it again so that it will be stronger. So I'm sewing it again. So I'm sewing it again. So this is it. I'm sewing it again. So that is it. Take note, you sew the back, you don't sew the front, you turn it backward and you sew. So this is it. So this is our border cap. This is it. Now the next thing to do is to form our design. Now this is the design. You turn it backward, the bow type. That's the type of design I want. The bow type. So you sew it all round. You turn it backward. You turn it backward and sew it all round. Then when sewing it, you don't sew everything finish. You leave a small space so that you'll be able to turn up. You leave a small space so that you'll be able to turn up. So I'm turning it up. You can use your scissors to assist yourself while turning. So this is it. Then you form your bow. The other part of the The other part that is opened, you can use your machine to sew it, or you can use your needle and thread to sew it. You can use your needle and thread to sew it, or your machine to sew it. Any one you prefer. So you form your bow. I'm forming my bow and I'm sewing it. Depending on the style you want, you can use another material, like a little piece of the scuba material, to cover the center of that part that you folded. Any style you want, you can cover the center or you leave it like that. So depending on how you want it and depending on the style you want it. If you want your bow to be very full, you can put something inside before sewing it round. You can put something inside before sewing it round. If you want it to stand very well, you can attach something inside before sewing it round. You can either use tail or anything you prefer to use. So this is our bow. Our bow is ready. Now the next thing to do is to attach it to the cap, depending on your choice where you want it to be. Like me, I want my own sided. So I'm attaching the bow. And you sew it tight. So I've done that. The next thing, I want to attach my stone bead to it. And this type of stone bead, there is a hole where you can sew it. So I'm going to use that hole to sew it. You can, depending on how you want your stone beads to be, you can either put it at the other edges also, all the edges, you can put it there, or depending on how you want it to be. So mine, I just want mine in two places. So that is it. So I'm sewing it, I'm tacking it with the cloth. So this is it. I'm through with the tackling, and I've discovered that whenever you've done your cap, if you wear it and it's too long, you can this back, you can turn it to this side, like the way I'm doing it like this. Then you tack it. That is if you've discovered that it's too long and it's coming out up, so you can easily do it this way. Because when I wore it, I discovered that it was long, it was coming out. So so that is it. If it's long, then you do it this way. You turn it like about 3 inches forward. Then you sew it together with those with this sewing. So our bridal cap is ready. So when you do it that way and you turn it inside and you turn it well, you discover that everything will be perfect and normal. So this is our bridal cap. Thank you all for watching. Tutorial. Hope you got everything. Hope you can do it now. Please, I want you to try it at your convenience. And I want you to comment if you don't really understand this. Comment, tell me how you feel about it, so that I'll know you're watching it, so that I'll know that you're getting the best from it. So thank you. The next video about the other cap will be coming soon. Yes, so this is a flower type bridal cap. You can see this flower. The flower, you can watch my subsequent video that I've uploaded before, so that you know how to do this flower fabrics. Yeah. So this is I made three of it together. You see they are closely packed together. So this is it. This is another type, another design for the bow tie. And the other type I did was a bow tie design. This is it. So you can use any type of design you want. I want you to try this DIY at home at your convenience so that you won't forget it. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned to Grace's Creative Concepts. Thank you very much. Wish you all Happy New Year and Merry Christmas in advance.